Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I want to talk about an interesting topic. We're going to talk about that Shedeur Sanders situation, and a topic, a more broad topic, and racism. Now, I'm not going to get into too much into it. I'm just going to talk about specifically with this situation and another situation that I haven't really talked about, but I think it's important to talk about because it gives context to what we're saying here. Now, for those of you who don't know, the NFL draft happened not too long ago, and Shedeur Sanders, the son of Deion Sanders, was basically snubbed for 4 rounds out of the NFL draft before a team picked him up. And there are a lot of people online, and I'm going to show you guys some videos that are claiming that this is racism, that the reason he was snubbed is because they're racist. Never mind the fact that 52% of the players in the NFL are black. Never mind the fact that the NFL pays these players millions of dollars per year to play a sport. But apparently in this situation, it is racist. Now, I'm going to start the clip showing you guys a few videos from a few creators that I found on TikTok talking about how this is racist. And then I'm going to show you guys a video of Shedeur Sanders talking about how he thinks things should be. And if you're not trying to do things his way, then as a team, you shouldn't pick him. And then I'm going to show you a video of a woman who speaks, unfortunately, facts. Well, not unfortunately, but reality, just facts. But let's go ahead and get started. Let's not waste too much time.
Yeah, listen, man. Let's just get right into it. What's happening to Shedeur right now is just buck breaking. It's buck breaking. I'm not about to explain what buck breaking is. You have a phone, go Google it. But you're not gonna sit here and tell me that there was 64 players better in college football over the past 2 to 3 years than Shedeur. Like, y'all stop, man. This kid is being humiliated. This kid is being punished. Y'all even have gone so far to record this kid. And I'm calling him a kid because he's only 23 years old. So compared to me, he kind of is a kid. Y'all went so far to record this kid amongst his family, prank calling him saying, oh, you're going to have to wait a little longer. Bro, when are y'all going to realize that they are who they are and they've been this way for 500 plus years?
The they he's talking about is white people, because this makes white people racist. This makes white people bad. They've been who they are for 500 years. Never mind the fact that the same white people you think are evil were the ones who abolished slavery in the Western world. Slavery is still being practiced today in Africa. And it isn't being done by the same white people that you hate so much. No, it's being done by other black people in the Congo and the Arabs. The Arabs are in Africa right now enslaving black people today, as of the recording of this video. Yet the same people that abolished slavery are the ones that are still evil, because they did, and I'm not excusing slavery, I'm not excusing racism. They did something that was practiced throughout the entire world for all of human history up until recently, and even recently, it's still going on. So white people are evil, and they're buck breaking this kid because he's black and we've always got to make a narrative. I'm not saying that what they did to him wasn't wrong. Maybe it is wrong. Maybe it wasn't wrong. Maybe there was a reason why it was done that way. But we can't always default to it being racism. It can't always be the nefarious, evil, white, racist man who's looking to do racism against black people. If that was the case, why even bother hiring them? Why even bother hiring black people? Why not just make it an all-white league? I mean, that's what it was before. That's what it was before, but facts be damned. Facts don't matter. It's always about, and I'm sorry to say it, but black people are always, they always pull the victim card. They always pull the race card. Everything can't always be racism. Everything can't always be because you're black and the white man is holding you down. When it seems like every group in this nation has the opportunity, white people aren't even the most successful group in America. In this white supremacist country, white people aren't even the most successful per the stats. It's Asians. And why is that? Maybe it has nothing to do with race, and maybe has something to do with culture. When the culture glorifies rap music, murder, calling women hoes, they don't value education, the only way to make it out of the hood is to either become a rapper or to become a basketball player, a football player, and not through education. That's what the kids are going to do. Now, what do Asians do? They value education very highly. That's why you see a lot of Asian immigrants come over to the United States. I'm a great example of that, not necessarily an Asian immigrant, but I'm an immigrant. First generation, came from another country, not speaking a lick of English. And you can tell because my English sucks. It sucks. But guess what? Today I'm very successful. It's the reason why I'm able to live in another country and still own a home in the States. Why? Because I never let this evil, racist, white country, as a lot of black people unfortunately call it, hold me back. Not everything has to be an excuse, and not everything is the white man's fault. Sometimes people just have to take accountability for their own actions. But I'm not going to do too much on this video. We'll keep talking. I'm going to play a couple of more because I have a bad habit of talking too much, and then the video turns out to be longer than it's supposed to be.
What's happening to Shedeur Sanders is just racism. It's a less overt, different form of it. You know, it's not the racism that says y'all can't play with us. It's the form that says y'all can play with us, but y'all gotta act a certain way, right? But if you're a black quarterback, you gotta act a certain way. You can't be a black quarterback flexing your wrist and your dad is Deion Sanders, Hall of Famer. You can't be a black quarterback and be as flashy as Shedeur, right? That's why, you know, they don't got no problem with people like Cam Ward. No offense, he's a great player. But he's just a more humble person. That's what they want. They want you to be humble. They want you to fit a certain archetype. They want you to get on the podium and thank everybody but yourself. Oh, thank God. Thank my coach. This coach, that, coach that. Thank my teammates, right? They don't like people like Shedeur Sanders who won't be allowed to be controlled. His dad wasn't even controlled when he was playing back in the day. His dad damn sure ain't gonna allow his son to be controlled, and they fucking hate it. This is a character assassination. This is an attempt to humble a young man because he knows how good he is, right? He was the consensus number 2 quarterback, right? Or number 1, depending on who you were. Now, first 4 rounds untaken.
It is not racism. You see how he mentions there, it says character assassination. This, all this, that, and the third. They're trying to humble. What a person who's never employed anybody and has never owned a company like this kid. Now, I own a company and I do employ people. They're freelancers. They don't necessarily directly work for me. I pay them on a job-by-job basis. But, and, you know, they're not, I'm the face of my own company. They're not the face of my company. But what this person who's never employed anyone doesn't understand is that when you have a large brand, a major brand like the NFL, and then sub-brands within that NFL, which are the teams, that they're looking, you are representing that company. So yes, they want you to be humble. Yes, they don't want you to get in trouble. Yes, they want you to act a certain way. Why? Because you are the face of that company. Anything that you do, negatively or positively, will reflect the same on that organization, be that the team and the NFL as a whole. Anything that you do on and off the field represents the company that you work for. This is not a character assassination. He's right, they're trying to humble him. Why? Because sure, you can be cocky, whatever, but you don't have to play for us. You can be all you want. You can be anything you want to be, but we don't have to hire you. And that's what a person who's never employed anybody as a public figure understands. This guy does not understand that this is not about racism. This is not a character assassination. This is about a kid who can potentially be the face of the next team that decides to hire him or has already hired him. And they want to uphold a certain image. That's all it is. But again, look, there's this great saying that I've heard before, and it goes something like this. When you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And black people have been the hammer for way too fucking long. Way too long, and I'm sorry to say it. But black people have been the hammer for way too long. And what I mean by that, they're the hammer and the nail is the racism. And so they find racism everywhere. Everything looks like racism. Even when it's not. Look at the case with the kid that just stabbed Carmelo Anthony, just stabbed another kid in the chest. The people that I really saw making it about race, I mean, there's racists on both sides. I'm not going to say there's not white racists. But black people can absolutely be racist, and I've seen it. There are black people out there advocate. They're like, oh, if you're a white person, you come up to me, you best believe I will pokey you. Like, I hate you. And you'll see it because I have a video of one of them talking about it. I mean, I already showed you an example. It's white people. And they made it about race because this black kid stabbed a white kid. And automatically, just because he was black and the other kid that died was white, black people came into his defense. Why? Why is it that the community has a problem with always defending the worst of the worst? Whether it be that he was wrongfully accused, whatever happened, right? Even with the George Floyd stuff, funnily enough, with the George Floyd case, during the trial, there was never any racism alleged. Yet the entire narrative was that because it was a white cop that was kneeling on his neck or whatever, which was police department procedure, this was shown in the trial that it was automatically racism. It was evil white racist cop kills a black man. Never mind the fact that George Floyd was a career criminal. They never come out and defend the people that are actually honest and good, hardworking black people that get wrongfully abused by the system. It's always the worst of the worst. The kid openly admitted he stabbed that dude with a knife. They found a knife, and now the excuse is that no, it was a cleat sharpener. It doesn't matter if the fucking weapon was a banana. The point is he stabbed him, killed him. And yes, he will have his day in court. But he admitted to doing it. So he is innocent until proven guilty by the court of law. But the facts are the facts. You don't have to come out and defend that. And the only reason you're doing it is because of the color of his skin and the color of the skin of his victim. Because they never come out and rally and do all this stuff and come out in defense of the black people murdering other black people. And it's always the worst of the worst. And so this is just pathetic. The black community has to change at some point. At some point, they have to be held accountable. They have to hold themselves accountable as a community, or they'll never progress. Because why is it that minorities, people that don't speak English, people that come, first generation people come to this country, and then within one generation are able to lift themselves up and turn into something, become something. But somehow the racism only applies to black people. The racism is so bad, but only to black people, that they're the only group of people in the country that can't get ahead. Everyone else can magically do it. And so at some point, it's got to change. It's got to change. Now, I'm going to show you the clip in question of what this kid Shedeur said, because he said something. And so this just shows the level of arrogance. So the teams did exactly what he wanted.
That's the plan. If that's not what you're trying to do, don't get me. If you ain't trying to change the franchise or the culture, don't get me. So you should know history repeats itself over and over and over. And I've done it over and over and over. So it should be no question why an NFL franchise should pick me.
He said it. Don't pick me. If you're not trying to play based on the way I want to play, based on what I want to do, even though I'm not the one in control here, because I don't own the team, and I haven't proven myself. Yes, he proved himself in college. But college and pro ball are two different things. And so he said, the teams, hey, don't get me. And what did the teams do? Well, okay, we're not going to get you. We're not going to draft you. You're a liability. You want us to do what you want when you haven't even proven yourself. And I have another video from Charleston White, which I respect very much, because Charleston White is against all the bullshit. And he'll tell it just like it is. And it's a funny clip. It's a funny clip, but it's the truth.
Most of these NFL owners is well into their 70s, 80s, and 90s. They been drafting niggas longer than you've been alive. And one thing about a rich NFL owner, he specializes in niggas. He know everything about an athletic nigga. He know what he like in middle school. They know everything. They done called everybody and got the report sheet on this nigga. Cause they finna get this nigga a lot of money, and they finna bring this nigga into the plantation. The family's business. The Jones family, whatever name of the family, so they gonna get to meet the daughter, especially if you're a face of the organization type nigga. So we gonna bring this nigga in here. This nigga already got a Rolls Royce getting parking tickets at the college university that he won't pay. He's entitled. He's not gonna be able to take correction outside of his father.
And that's the problem.
And his daddy wanna be an NFL coach. We don't want them problems. We'll pass on it. That's what they did.
That's the reality. He's in college with a Rolls Royce getting parking tickets that he won't pay, so he can afford the car but won't pay the parking tickets. And I'll end it with one last video that I have here for you guys, of a black woman giving you some stats, because I know that black people love to say for non-black folk to not get in their business, but you make it everybody's business when you call everybody racist and you put it out there, because apparently only black people can have opinions about black people, but black people can have opinions about everybody else also. No one else can have opinions about black people, but black people can have opinions about everybody.
So Shedeur Sanders fell in the NFL draft because of racism. I should have known that somebody would pull the race card, and I think it's just a pathetic take. That's just my opinion, though. Here are some numbers, some facts, if you care about facts and the truth right now, that might interest you. I did some homework. It's not that hard, you guys. Last season, 15 of the 32 NFL starting quarterbacks were black. That's about half, right? That's racist. How about the top 15 NFL players as far as money, payment, what they're making, salary? Dak Prescott, the highest paid player at $60 million a year. That's racist. And of the top 15 paid players, 9 are black or biracial. 9 of the 15, making a combined $448 million a year. This weekend, I know you kept track how many black players were taken in the first round. 26, guys, 26 of 32 in the first round were black. That's over 80%. You know, it's always the same cast of characters who cry racism and try to divide. So I guess we should not be surprised, but it's pathetic and it's lazy, and it only takes away from those times when racism truly does exist. The boy who cried wolf, stop doing this. You know, the speculation is going to continue. We'll hear more and more from scouts, etc., as far as why it took till pick 144 for Shedeur's name to be called. But please just stop with the race baiting.
She spoke nothing but facts. And that is the reality of the situation. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Not everything is racism. Not everything is an attack on you because you are black. Again, when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And it can't be that way. Something has to change within the culture. And like she said, it is always the same cast of characters, because I know a lot of honest, hardworking black people who don't believe the bullshit. But unfortunately, there is a large crowd of black people who really do think like this. And so any progress that could be possibly made gets hindered because of shit like this. It's like one step forward gets taken and then 2 steps back. So like, where are we going? What are we doing? But anyways, that's what I'll leave the video. I don't have anything else to say. You guys have heard my piece. Now I want to know yours. Let me know in the comments what you think about this whole situation. If you have any other ideas, and if you disagree with me, you're more than welcome to. Let me know in the comments. If you want to disrespect me, that's fine. If you don't want to disrespect me, have a civil conversation. We can do that also. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.